To come up with a definition for the Extrema T3000, it's a challenge by itself, because a knife of this size and characteristics, it's quite difficult to match to the current definition of modern knives. After some thinking, I concluded that this knife, it is not a sword nor a machete, but it is a proper tactical knife for modern warfare. Unfortunately for us, the users, it is already discontinued. I presume the people at Extrema thought about redoing a wakizashi sort of sword, but the way this knife came out to be, in my opinion, is a more civilized version of a military knife. On my test, I found that it was an extremely fast knife, and one thing that really impresses when being held in the hand is that the knife itself is extremely light, and yet it is very rigid due to the double grinding. It has a hollow grind on the edge side, and instead of having a fuller like many swords, it has a full-length hollow grind. The tip, as you might expect out of a military and tactical knife, is a modified tanto with actually a triple grind. The rib that is produced after the grinding makes the knife a lot stronger and structurally stable than what you can find in a sword. As with all of the Extrema Ratios, you got the 4-point handle. As in the knives of the Fulcrum era, you have a jimping on the thumb area. The tang is exposed as in every other Extrema Ratio, and as it is traditional with the brand, it is held by only one screw, so you can take the handle off and clean it. The profile of the blade, as you can see, has a cross shape, which takes a lot of material from the blade and at the same time keeps the structural rigidity of the piece. One thing that sets apart the Extrema T3000 from the rest of the Extrema lineup is that it comes with a factory convex edge, which makes it really strong and at the same time extremely resistant to wear. As my opinion goes, this is one of the sharpest Extrema Ratios I ever received. Perhaps the only flaw in the design that I could find was the fact that it doesn't have any hand guards, so your hand won't slide right through the edge when you're stabbing. But on the other side, you have these huge finger grooves, supposedly to be for the strongest fingers, and at the same time you can place your thumb in this way to secure it while doing fast movements with it. The sheath is extremely light, it is rigid, it's hard to see, but it has a rigid inner wall, and the sides have a foam that can preserve the edge while inserting the knife and taking it out. The two buckles hold the knife in place. There is a belt loop that comes adjustable from the factory. You could even shorten it up, and it comes with two leg straps, and because the knife is so thin, it is really easy to wear it on the leg. Some of the specs on the knife are a blade length of 13.5 inches and a weight of 15 ounces. Here is a brief comparison with 3 other tactical dedicated knives, and as you can see, the T3000 is in a very different category. Here you can see it compared with a budget alternative, and as you can see, the construction of the T3000 is way more substantial than what you can find in the market. I think it is a pity that this knife was discontinued, because I find it to be an extremely proficient tactical knife by its behavior.